na 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 na. Oh yo, oh yo. I say oh yo, oh yo. Oh yo, oh yo. I say oh yo, oh yo.
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound of the nation.
Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
All right, so the time here in SVG, it is 9:23, and we are in our Talk to Me segment of today's program. All right. This is where we open the mic to you, the listeners, or open the phone lines to you, the listeners, for you to call us on any particular topic that we might have spoken about this morning, or anything that you wish to raise for our attention, that you want some feedback or some comments on, right? In studio, we have Dr. Gerald Thompson, Dianna, Cain, and myself, Roleza. All right, so we are going to give you 10 seconds as usual. If anybody wishes to call, remember the number to call is 457-9997. You can call directly, or you can call us through WhatsApp or send a message through WhatsApp as well. All right, so the 10 seconds starting now. All right, I don't even know if that was 10 seconds, but time is up. All right, so we are going to jump right into the suggested topic for this morning's session. And the topic is, and I kind of put it here because I wanted to hear Dr. Thompson's feedback on this. Now we have a call. All right, caller, good morning.
This is my segment.
It is your segment, Queens. Over to you. Morning.
Dr. Thompson and the Angels, how they doing this morning?
We are right.
We're flying. You know, the angels are flying, flapping their wings.
No. These angels fight. What's up with you? We don't fly, we fight. Charlie's angels fight. We fight.
Right.
We fight with words.
Yeah.
I hope people who are on Facebook Live see Roleza say that, you know,
we're good angels, you know, we're just not the flying kind.
I'm not a fighter.
Good fighter.
You're a lover, not a fighter.
No, I'm a calmer. I try making people better. I'm a doctor. I make people feel better. You know what I mean?
All right. Queens, what's up today?
You're talking about customer service, so I want to put it in a different perspective. You know, this disaster will have a little to do with it, but broadly, it's outside the disaster. I went to a Western Union a couple weeks ago. And when I go to Western Union, I usually write down everything on a piece of paper. At the top of it, I usually put WU, put my name, phone number, who I'm sending it to, where they're located, and the amount at the bottom. Give it to a Western Union employee. They ask for ID, show them ID. Then they ask me if it's Western Union. I say, I have it right at the top there, WU. You know, they fling the paper back at me and say, you have an attitude, go somewhere else. Just because I say WU. So, you know, I didn't argue with them. I left. I went in the parking lot. And when I'm about to leave, I say, man, nah, I shouldn't take that like that. So I go back and ask for supervisor. Supervisor go and speak to them. And the supervisor came back to me and said, they say you're rude to them, so they can't do it. So I say, maybe you could get another person to do it if that person don't want to do it. They said, nah, they can't get somebody else wants that part. A second supervisor comes, the same thing. And then the second supervisor say, oh, you know what, the Western Union machines now working. I said, you guys are lying. And they walk away from me. And okay, so I wait a couple of days. I said, what I did, I go outside the parking lot and made a call. I said, I want to speak to the manager. Somebody come on the phone, give them the same information. They wait yeah, we can't do it. You're rude to them, so they can't do it. So what I did, I said, okay, they have different shifts, you know. They have different shifts. I said, I'm gonna go there in the night, speak to a different supervisor. And I feel they're giving me the same BS, you know. So when I go outside, some people are outside taking their lunch break or whatever. I have to do I speak to the manager. And I asked them if that person is the manager, the person that I just speak to. They said, no, that's not my. Went to the back. They come with a book and they write down the information. So whether they do anything about it or not, I felt a little better with this person coming and writing down with a book and everything. I just feel the other people were just backing each other and just, they were not telling the truth. They were just backing, giving me the runaround.
Okay. Queens, can I ask you, was this actually, Queens, let me ask you, was this actually a Western Union office, or was it some other type of enterprise in which had a small Western Union compartment to it?
Yeah, it was a one base. To be exact, it's a Walmart, to be exact.
Yes. I suspected that, and it's unfortunate. I think your experience goes a long way. I could talk of many of those type of experiences in the US. I could talk of many of those. And of course, in certain locations, it would also be tainted with other type of factors, But thank you for calling, and sharing that with us.
All right, thanks, Queen.
Bye-bye.
All right, there's just one thing that I wanted to say, though. I think that sometimes, I don't know, like last week I observed a young girl calling for food at an establishment, and the attitude that she was giving to the servers, and I couldn't understand where I really wanted to say something, but I said, you know what? Let me just leave it alone, because ordinarily I would say something.
This was a customer.
I was also a customer at the establishment, right?
And another customer was calling for some food.
She was calling for some food, but they asking her, they were asking, caller, give me one more. Okay, caller, good morning.
Yeah, good morning again. Just before the program ends, I just want to ask my good friend there, Dr. Thompson, whether why can't the Prime Minister, or why does the Prime Minister don't want to speak to the opposition leader in this country? In a time of crisis, where all hands supposed to be on deck, as they say, they be a brother's keeper and all that. You see, all of this is just old talk.
Including yours, right?
Is it important that, and don't forget, let me just remind you, last year, they got more votes than the government. And they represent X amount of people in the country. How could we have unity, or do we want unity? How could we have peace in this country without our two leaders, be it opposition or Prime Minister, showing the world, showing Vincentians at first that one leader is above the other, or believes he could talk to the opposition leader in a condescending manner without respect. Is this what we want for our democracy? And is this the example we are setting for our young, innocent babes coming up in this place? I know you are the brightest guy.
Don't go into that. That just prolongs it. I want to ask you. Let me answer. Right? Let me answer you, Dave.
I ain't got money to stay on the phone, man.
I know. Don't stay on the phone. Don't stay on the phone. Please don't stay on the phone and preamble and so forth. Listen, I don't understand this. There is active. Parliament has never been suspended here, like in some autocracies. There's active debate in Parliament. There are questions in Parliament. There are answers given to the leader of the opposition in Parliament. Yes, and I don't know. There's a thinking that because the opposition may have gotten a few more votes in terms of popular votes, there must now be a government of national consultation, and some members and the opposition must be part of the government because they so, nonsense. That's not our constitution, But David suggested something there because, he wants to see Friday being part of, make him minister of finance, make him minister of this or minister of that. There's discussion in parliament, questions that are asked, answers given, and so forth. Whether personally, you will say politicians does not glass with each other, but whether they do not glass, in fact, these two, out of what was comment was made about bus head and all that kind of thing. I mean, Dave must really go through to reflect on some of the comments that people make about the Prime Minister over the years and whether he himself is a human being and in some way feels some of that. Anyway, let's not waste time.
I just feel like you and Dave need a separate program. Honestly.
No,
you and Dave could go back and forth.
I decided, I don't know why Dave came back in there. You know what I mean? But in terms of reshuffling the government and bringing in Leacock and bringing in Friday and bringing in this is not necessary. Government has to continue functioning and the opposition has to continue functioning. If Dave put forward that, as a non-starter.
All right, we have another caller. Hi, caller, morning.
Yes, I want to ask a question. I hear the caller talk about the majority. Where did the majority of the vote come from? Is not the Grenadines?
Where did the majority of votes come from if it wasn't from the Grenadines?
The majority of the NDP votes he's not referring to. Yes.
So
I think it's the Grenadines.
Yes.
Okay, so Dr. Thompson is saying yes.
Yeah, the majority.
Yes.
So right. So what?
But I noticed something that I noticed something in this country. The opposition is the one who fighting. I don't see the government fighting. I see the opposition one causing all the disturbance in the country. But they could say anything, but the government, nobody else can't say anything. I don't know. Understand really. Come on. That is my
thank you.
All right, thank you.
Roleza, I didn't want.
I can't imagine what will happen to next year.
I didn't want things to shift in that, but that's normal. If you see what's going on with Trump and Kamala, with Trump is calling Kamala a bum, right? Roleza, Trump called Kamala a bum, and you are asking you want to go out next year. There's going to be rumble, tumble, and so forth. Imagine that.
I want focused conversations and substantial conversations next year.
Those will take
this back
place.
And forth. Yeah.
Those will take place, but in between,
Hi, good morning.
In between, there'll be rumble and tumble. I bet you.
Caller morning, but topic wasn't even supposed to be politics this morning. Caller, good morning.
Why is that coming up?
Good morning to everyone there.
Good
morning.
When we are in crisis, my point, when we're in crisis, it's not time to put in politics.
Yes.
We are one nation,
yes,
one people.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that quickly. If we have a crisis like Beryl, and regardless of who is the opposition there and who is the leader, everybody should come together.
True.
And work together as one.
Yes.
United, we stand, and divided,
we fall.
We will fall.
Yes.
In other words, the Prime Minister, he is the head, and also Friday is we call it the opposition leader. The guys are what? I hurt you, you hurt me. It's not about me and you. It's about the people in the nation. And guys who get the popular vote and who don't get the popular vote, we are to unite together and work together. That's how a nation can build. In crisis, we're supposed to be dividing the nation as the nation have already divided. It divided. This time we should come together and work together as one. Because you know why? We only in power for a moment. After time, we ain't no more. Can we continue ringing and singing? It's time for the Prime Minister to get together and work along with everybody in this nation, because this nation ain't belongs to him. He only lent to him. Okay, have a great day.
All right, thank you, caller. All right, I will say one thing is that you see this back and forth and picking sides sort of thing. I don't know if I represent. All right, I would say my thoughts after. We have another caller. Hi, caller. Morning.
Good morning, Roleza. Good
Morning.
morning, Dianne. How are you
Good
guys?
morning. Good morning.
We're good. We're good. And you?
I am blessed, thank you. Good morning, Dr. Thompson.
Morning,
It's Anita.
Anita, yes.
Anita.
That's it.
Now, Dr. Thompson, I know you're a doctor and it calls for a lot of patience. And I understand that. But why do you allow someone who is contradictive to make you feel or look less than you are? You know, when my big son the first day he went to primary school, he came home and he said, Anta, I learned to spell my name. Miss Trumpet said, bring down peace and come right wrong. His name is Douglas, and he wrote it right out, but he didn't know the D, he didn't know the O, but he wrote out his whole name because that's how she taught him. A while ago, I heard Mr. Roberts said, when you talk, he's defending the opposition. He said he ain't defending no politician, and eventually hung up the phone before the conversation was concluded. But he comes back now to ask you why the Prime Minister, is that a question for you? The Prime Minister is on NBC every Wednesday morning, open to question.
Exactly.
Yeah, cross my mind, but
It sounds also if he's defending Friday. He say he ain't defending the
Exactly,
politician. He's defending Friday.
But all year before, he said that he's not defending no politician. And when you said he's defending the NDP, he got angry.
Yes.
But he comes back now to ask you. So you should just listen. You don't have to be rude to him, but you don't allow someone who don't even know what they want to say to belittle you, sir.
I want to apologize to you. I'm sorry. I cannot do that. Yes, Sam? Because I am here, I have found in life, there's a possibility that when a caller calls in and you decided you ain't saying anything, it's better you ain't on the program. I'm here on the program and I have to respond. It doesn't belittle me responding because you're called on to respond. You got to respond in a positive way. I'm not going to attack him and respond to him in a very negative.
That's what I said to you.
Said anything
I'm
negative.
not expecting you to attack him.
Yeah, right.
Because that's not your style, and it shouldn't be your style or anybody's style.
But just
Roleza, Crystal, nobody, not even me.
Exactly.
And I'm not belittling him.
Exactly.
But it's contradictory, and we as a listener, it is just confusing. You understand?
It's confusing.
2 minutes ago, I just hear him say he's not defending any politician.
Yes.
When you said he's defending, and then you come right back now, somewhat attacking you. And we as foot soldiers, it hurts.
But truthfully, he was not attacking me. He was maybe used me as a surrogate. He was attacking the Prime Minister. And he does that all the time. And the Prime Minister can deal with him at any point in time, as you said.
All right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, exactly.
He's on his return on Sunday asking the question that he wants to ask. And as Roleza said, he just go back and forth for you. I don't know what you did to him, sir. You better sort yourself. But see,
not at all.
No, I'm just being sarcastic.
No, man. Nothing happened. I tell you something. Dave is a pleasant soul. You're looking for attention in some way.
All right, okay. All right.
Right.
He's entitled. Okay, he's entitled to his opinions, but I wouldn't want the program to become
to respond.
Yeah, and I don't want for the program to become a Dave topic of conversation. All right, we're not going to do that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go, but here, listen. You would say you don't want it to go that way, but here, sweetheart, action calls for reaction. Yes. Okay? And I'm gone. I'm wrong, you tell me. Okay?
All right. Good. Fair enough.
Have a good one, Dr. Thompson. I'll talk to you.
Thank
Take
you
care.
very much.
Guys, bye-bye. You're welcome.
Yes.
Bye.
All right. Since the whole conversation shifted to politics,
it didn't shift.
in a sense, I will say one thing because we only have like 3 more minutes. So for persons expecting community deadline, it would come to you at 9:45 instead. I will say one thing because I suppose Dianna and myself have to brace ourselves to these type of conversations coming up next year, right?
Next year. Why not
Yeah,
this year?
Nanjad, no, yeah, wait till next year. To go full force. I tell you, Doc, I am tired of the fact that we are never out of election mode. I am tired of it. It's ridiculous, and this is why.
You know what I started off with this morning?
Peace and love.
No, I started off with Venezuela, and then I spliced in a little bit of Kamala and Trump from time to time because it's very important. You know what I mean? I'm backing Kamala, and it worries me when I see a couple of black men thinking they will support Trump. You know? But I know you ladies and so forth, I'm sure that you all are watching that Kamala thing. But politics is the way of life. We can't push it down the road.
It is. But you see what it is, and look, it even came up in the conversation this morning where we have a natural disaster. We had something happen to the nation, the plural islands of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And politics still enters into all of it. Well, it really is unfortunate.
It's unfortunate because one of the issues that has been brought up by your co-host was that there may be that persons from the Grenadines, based on their past experiences of coming to Kingston and the treatment, the names they were called, they may not want to do that sort of move. But I think that we have to balance this whole process. And that if there's nothing offered to the folks in the Grenadines other than let's set up back within the ruins, current ruins, people say that that's a disgrace too. There'll be people in the Grenadines who will say, man, it's important that for our kids we move. All right, one of us move temporarily while things are getting fixed. And the others will say, based on the past experience of them Vincentians don't like us, we staying down here. You can't have both things.
And that is one, I actually wanted for us to bring out that. Why is it there seems to be a divide? And we're not going to end up getting into the conversation because I really wanted to hear from somebody from the Grenadines in particular, but I guess we would bring it up. It could be brought up tomorrow in tomorrow's open topics. Is there a divide? And some years ago, and I know I said we coming today, and it's at 9:45. I'm coming, right? I noticed that there was about 2-3 years ago, I think there was a student from the Grenadines. I think it may have been Union Island who took part in the Lions public speaking competition. I hope my memory is correct there. And something came up in what was being discussed, and reference was made to mainland. And I remember saying something or the other in my WhatsApp status, and the folks in the Grenadines do not like when you address St. Vincent, the island of St. Vincent itself, as mainland. And it never came to my attention before. And I've always wondered, do they necessarily have a problem with referring to SVG, St. Vincent itself, as mainland, right? So I just have to put it out there and maybe we could talk about it. Okay, Doc, you have a minute.
You must remember a previous politician, James Mitchell, had a Grenadines declaration where he wanted to declare independence of the Grenadines. In Union Island, there was an uprising that had to be put down and so forth, that left a lot of scars and so forth. There are lots of other things that come into the picture, right, that complicate the whole process. And I am from Chateaubelair. I'm from the Leeward. Other persons may be from the country. There's been statements about country bookie come to town. There are these things in our legacy. But as Anita would have said during this and a little before, during this time is that we need to come together. Like Soufri and so forth. It doesn't mean that when the disaster, we go back to the old ways. We always have to have some that sense of national pride. I've used
and it has to be collective because, as I said, I've never looked at it as using the term mainland as being something that separates us from the Grenadine Islands. But it seems as if what it is I'm gathering is that persons in the Grenadines do not like that reference being made to St. Vincent.
No, because people used to say, or down in the keys, right? And so forth. And they did not like that. And they're right. There are derogatory comments that build up over the years. I mentioned country bookie. I mentioned these things are hard to go away because many people who experience them are still alive, right?
Okay.
And the younger generation may not experience those and wonder why is that the case. But older generation would know the negative connotations that it brought about at the time.
All right.
You know?
Fair enough. So I see a call coming in. We won't be able to take you. So in the open forum tomorrow for the question that I threw out there, you could bring it up in tomorrow's 9:20 Talk to Me, right? Because I personally would like to hear from somebody from the Grenadines in reference to that in particular. I didn't know of it necessarily from a historical standpoint, because it's just something that I grew up saying all the time, but I never knew that there was a bit of that divide.
But broaden it, mainland and so forth. Mainland, it comes across as a put down, a look down. I'm from the mainland, you're from there.
Yeah.
I'm from Kingston, you're from somewhere else. I'm from the big place, the metropolis, you're from the countryside, rural. And so it's in every country. But you're from London, you're from New York, from Washington, it's from every single country. In Bolivia, the same thing. People who are in the capital, but people who live in the outskirts, in the hills and so forth, are looked down upon. This is so true in almost every part of the world. So don't be surprised by it. And we got to bring people together.
Yeah.
Right, not to prolong, but just to add to that. So apart from the use of terms, there are other things, because I've interacted with persons from the Grenadines, and there are other things that they have spoken about, like everything being up here and they have to come up here for everything. And there's even been a reference to the national anthem and where the Grenadines are mentioned in the national anthem. I've actually heard that verse issue as well.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just that, we grew up and we never really thought so far into it, but I guess it's because it's not going to hit home for us directly as it does for them, So I have to be fair and open-minded and listen to the conversation because, as I said, I may have been just a bit more removed from it because it's not directly impacting me.
It's real.
Yeah.
And then we could go further than that in terms of the Caribbean, the big countries, and the small
islands. Treaties, morning.
So we can go even further,
Yeah. All right. So we have to take our break at this time and jump right into today's Community Dateline.
WEFM.